Now, speaking of, I want to go as far as to say pretty cool news. We finally got the information on who's going to be leading Jon Favreau's The Mandalorian. And this is going to be Narcos star Pedro Pascal, who apparently at this point, it's not 100% confirmed, but Variety was reporting that Pedro Pascal is officially set to lead The Mandalorian, confirming the making Star Wars scoop from last month. Oh, okay, so I guess they are confirming it. Details remain mostly under wraps, but Pascal will play a lone gunfighter on the outer reaches of the galaxy, far from the authority of the New Republic. He'll also wear some sweet Boba Fett-esque armor, and that's pretty much where it stands, is that they're currently in production on this show right now. I thought they were already shooting the show at this point. So, because they kind of showed some behind the scenes photos, and they're gearing up to shoot it. Dave Filoni's directing the pilot episode. I think Bryce Dallas Howard's directing an episode. Taika Waititi's directing an episode. I mean, they're bringing in some big talent for this show. They're spending roughly $10 million an episode as the reports go. 10 episodes, so $100 million budget. We're talking feature-length budget for a 10-episode series. And Disney is not messing around when it comes to bringing this kind of Star Wars content to TV. So it basically, at this point, shows you that that they know what they're doing, right? Now, there's a section here where it says, executive producer Jon Favreau has a strong eye for casting, and Pedro Pascal is he's that kind of actor you can see him gravitating towards. Although he's worked steadily in film and television for over a decade, the Chilean-born Pascal truly broke out with his work as Oberyn Martell, the memorable and memorably doomed Red Viper, who comes to Red Keep on a mission of vengeance in season 4 of Game of Thrones. And then Oberyn Martell was a fantastic character, right? When he died in the way he died, which was truly shocking, right? I'm sorry, spoilers, but we're like 4 years past that at this point, almost 3 years past it. It was like, wow, because he was a good character. You know what I mean? Like, he was a great guy. So much charisma, so much just passion he brought to the part. And I liked him in Kingsman, The Golden Circle as well. I thought he was good as the villain in that one. And I haven't seen Narcos, but I've heard it's quite good. And I definitely still need to see The Equalizer 2, because that one is just one that's on my list that I haven't gotten to yet. But he's a solid actor, very charismatic, can do drama. So it makes me wonder what kind of character the Mandalorian is. Now, if he's a lone gunfighter on the outer reaches of space, far from the authority of the New Republic, it kind of leads me to believe that it's, again, the Outer Rim, and it's going to be dealing with the fallout of the effect of the Empire, remnants of the Empire, as well as the New Republic. And I kind of talked about this before when I did my original video on it. What I feel is going to happen is you're going to kind of have him in the center, right? The center of both. I think the New Republic is going to send an envoy out to where he's at, and they're going to try to establish command, and they're going to need to hire people, probably to help maybe move a few things around, right? And then you're going to have the Empire, or the remnants of the Empire, that are going to be there, and they're going to need a little bit of help to keep it under control, to keep the New Republic away from them while they get ready to try to like mount their assault or something. And again, I'm purely speculating here, but my theory is it's going to play out like the movie Last Man Standing with Bruce Willis, where you have the two warring factions in town. You have the lone gunfighter who's for hire, and he's going to work for whoever pays the most money, and ultimately end up playing them against each other. And I think that's going to be a big part of it. He's not going to be necessarily the hero. He's going to be more of the anti-hero that will be populated by a lot of hopefully other good characters. Carl Weathers, they just announced, is going to be in the show. We don't know who his character is yet, but it's Carl freaking Weathers. I don't think anyone cares. They're happy that he's in it. So I'm assuming that over the course of the next couple of weeks, we're going to start getting a lot more casting details, a lot more production details, maybe some synopsis details that will allow us to really kind of flesh out the idea of The Mandalorian and what exactly Jon Favreau is doing. Considering that he is, doing the Lion King movie and he's doing this, I mean, he is everywhere. And I'm really hoping that this show does better than Revolution on NBC, which is what he was an exec producer of from a couple of years ago. That was that kind of what they called part of the Amberverse, kind of a not so much steampunk, but just, alternative future sort of thing. And that one he directed the pilot episode of, and it had, I think, 3 seasons, and then it crashed and burned, but it never really took off. I don't think that's going to happen here, considering he's got like Star Wars to play around in. And they're just going to look at him as being like, look, you You did Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, that launched the MCU 10 years ago. You did The Jungle Book, that was a $1 billion movie. You're doing Lion King, that's going to be another $1 billion movie. They're going to give him the toys to play with and hopefully the freedom. And if he gets the freedom, I think it's going to be great. Now, here's what I'm hoping. At some point in time, he casts his friend Vince Vaughn in a role, because I think it'd be great to see Vince Vaughn alongside Pedro Pascal. I think the two would bounce off each other quite well. And yeah, that's kind of what I want. That's my thing. Plus, he likes to cast his friends. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But I'm very excited to see what's going to happen with The Mandalorian. I think this is good casting. And if they do anything of what I previously speculated on, I think we as fans are going to be in for a grand time. Speaking of